Hey family, greetings and welcome. Welcome to another one of my stories. And as you'll know by now, stories are fiction. Fiction, well, that's a pile of lies. So brace yourself, I am about to tell you another pile of lies. You're in tune to yours truly, Starfire. So today is December the 16th, 2024, and yesterday, Sunday the 15th, full moon night day, I came down here to Wagwater Moat. Yeah, so this river there is called Wagwater, and this area is known for taking a few lives. You know, every year or so it demands another life. Yeah, so when you come here, you gotta be extremely careful. So I'm gonna tell you how I managed to save a little girl from fate's worse than death yesterday. So I came down these rocks and I was doing some fishing right about here. In actual fact, this piece of stick here, I jammed in there, right? When I came, there was a dead pig off here somewhere, and the water was open up over there, so the dead pig was over there, and I did my little fishing here, caught a couple of small fishes, and I was here for about an hour, nothing much happening, and my spirit said to me to go down here and throw my line down this area, yeah? So dutifully I came down this side. I was throwing my line down this side. Now yesterday, this water here, it was more funneled, it wasn't so wide, yeah? And there was a pile of sand, it was banked up along this area, banked up quite high, for about, say, 2 feet or so. So the water was streaming along, rushing along down here. So it went into, let's see if I can manage, probably about there. Yeah, it was very tight. And here, the way from the sea, it was throwing up, you know, it was very high, everything was high. And down there where the river meets the sea, it was just churning up like this, spinning, you know, and the water was rushing along. So I'm along here doing my fishing, and I noticed that over there a little girl came out. She was probably the same little girl, she's probably about 11, 12 years old. And you know, continued doing my fishing, and then another one came which was about 3 years old, and I continued doing my fishing, but from the side of my eye I'm sort of taking notice. And then another one came, and I thought, okay, that's the mother, you know, and then after a while a male figure came along, so I said, okay, that's father. And you know, it's a family affair. Just kept on fishing, doing my thing, and next thing they came, the children came along here, and they were doing their little thing, you know what children do. And so I'm not taking much notice. Then from the side of my eyes, remember I said that this water is like, you know, it's half as intense as it was yesterday, right now. All of a sudden, the girl, 11, 12-year-old, she just jumped up in the air and jumped in the water. You know, and I'm right here at the banking. Like I said, this was about 2 feet high, and she was probably about 10 feet away from me when she did that act. So I saw that at the side of my eyes, and everything just sort of slowed down in my brain, and my brain was like, wait a minute, that picnic just jumping out the water? Wait a minute. Then the water not going to take her go to sea? wait a minute. You know, and all this is going on in my head in this short period of time, right? And so she jumped up with a great big grin on her face and jumped into the water. 2 seconds later, she realized she didn't have any feet now, her feet were no use to her, and she was on her backside and, you know, just racing towards the sea. So that big grin that was on her face turned to petrified, you know, she's just fear on her face, and she started, you know, flopping and all kind of shit, you know. And I just I don't know, good job. I just bent down on my knees, and fortunately the water was, the current was drifting the water to the bank there, and so it was drifting her to the bank, right? And I went down on my knees and grabbed her with my left hand and pull her, grab her by her clothes and pull her up on the sand. You know, one hand had my reel of fishing line in my right hand, and my left hand I grab her and pull her onto the bank in, you know, and hallelujah. And I'm saying, what the beep beep, what the beep? This girl, you know, and put it this way, if I had not grabbed her and pull her in, like I said, over there, it was churning like this, like a washing machine, and the waves were high. You understand? And if I had not grabbed her and pulled her in, that girl would have been way out at sea in 20 seconds later. She would have been ripped up by all that churning that was going on over there, right? And she would have been way out at sea 20, 30 seconds later. And to prove that, you know, an hour or so later, a couple of youths came by, teenagers, and one of them grabbed a bamboo. And remember I was telling you about the pig. He grabbed the bamboo and he pushed the pig into the current right there, okay? And literally 30 seconds later, that pig was way over there, past the churning, and way over there in the sea. Less than 30 seconds later, that pig was way over sea. You understand? And then, you know, when I pulled her over, I was calling to the one that I thought was the mother, and then it turned out, you know, I said, come, give me a hand, help me with that. And then I realized that she was probably about a 14-year-old, right? And I'm cussing and I'm saying, yo man, and then the little child that was with them, she was about 3 years old or so. And I don't know what kind of talking she was trying to do, and I'm saying, yo, take the pit and them and go over there. Who's your, is that your father? No, it's my grandfather. We go over there, winding my fishing line, went over there, spoke to grandfather. I said, yo, grandfather, you know, see the pit nearly drowned, man? Why, she can't swim, you know. But I think to myself, say, why she jumping at the water over there so side of you when she say, yeah, fish there, so. But she can't. I said, man, she would not have been able to swim against that. She would have been way out at sea. You understand? But it looked like he was, and you know, he sat there. He came in, like I said last time, the children, and he sat there on the phone. You know, so while I was dragging the girl out of the water, he was still on the phone, looking looking over this side, you know. And then it turned out that it don't look like his head was too straight anyway. You understand? So I tell you what, this thing is the second life I've saved so far in my lifetime. About 10 years ago, I saved a young lady who died. I basically pumped her chest over Babylon there until the ambulance came. But yesterday my whole stomach was going around, my legs went funny, you know, and I had to sit down for a while because I was just, you know, my energy was stirred up, you know, and definitely if I had a spliff and if I had some white rum, I would have done that in 1 minute. You know, fortunately I didn't have either. But yeah, that's the story, you know. And I was telling elder, well not elder, somebody about my age or so came along, and he came with those youths at that time, and he was saying, boy, it's God send you, you know, man, it's God send you. Imagine the weeping and mourning that would have been going on for Christmas here, you know, this Christmas season. It's God send you, man, you know. And I'll tell you what, just to prove that, right, one of the youths was crossing this river here, up by that stick up there, so, right? And, you know, he was crossing because sometimes you see the men, they cross and go down, further down there on the beach to do whatever they do. Fishermen, really. And he got in the water and he was swimming across, right? And the tide brought him along down to here, and he had to swim hard to get over there. You understand? He had to swim hard, and he, you know, he's a strong 19-year-old or so youth. Yeah. So that girl that was here, man, she would have been over there and dead meat by now, definitely. So yeah, yesterday morning I woke up, and after I gave thanks, my spirit said to me, go to the river and catch fish. That was about 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was thinking, that's kind of, so I said, okay. And I started getting myself ready to go. And then my bicycle was punctured, so I had to fix that. Went to my neighbor, begged him some baits. Actually, we bartered. Gave him some banana and peppers and stuff, and he gave me bait. And then when I got on my bike, came down this side, was heading down this side. I did about 2 miles, and this place is about 12 miles from where I live, right? So I did about 2 miles, and then my gear lever broke. So I was thinking, shit, should I turn back, right, or should I continue? My spirit said continue, you know. And then I looked and I saw a whole heap of black clouds over this side, and I said, well, maybe I should go Port Marion. Spirit said, no, go continue to Anata Bay, you know. And I said, well, you have to make sure I don't get wet. And they said, like, nah, you're not gonna get wet, just continue. And I went up to the river, further up the stream there, up the river, and I was there for about 3/4 of an hour, and I didn't catch anything. And they said to me, all right, come round to the river mouth, you know. So it seemed like obviously Spirit knew what was going to happen, and they guided me to come down here. And like I said, if I had not come down here, that girl would have been dead meat. So that's Anata Bay over there you're looking at, Anata Bay town. And yeah, we're at Wagwater River, and at the river mouth. And like I said, people die at this place, man, once a year. Even a brethren of mine from over my side in Highgate, Tremolesworth, he came down here about 3 years ago, lost his life just like that. Got his head knocked on one of them rocks here, and then, I don't know, that was quite sad actually. And yeah, he died. So it's not a joke business, this Wagwater. So peace and love to you, family. And as they say, be careful out there. And be careful of drones. And all that kind of shit, yeah? So peace and love, you're in tune to yours truly, Starfire. Yeah, Jaga and protection.